Tyler, do you know what this is?
I believe that's an RF switch. The things that people used back then instead
Of an AV
of a
cable.
AV cable.
So this is AV cable old school. Instead of your colors,
Colors red, white, and yellow.
you had this instead, which plugged into the back of your TV via cable. So you plug your cable into here, so you could still watch cable when you weren't playing games, and then you plug this into the TV, and this is what you would plug into the 64. Now this model right here can be used on the Super Nintendo, the Nintendo 64, and the GameCube. This was not packaged into the GameCube though, because the GameCube came in a time when it was in between HD TVs and standard TVs. But we're not here to talk about the GameCube. Now, I want to show you the length of this cord. It is huge. It's long. It's the longest cord I've ever seen ever.
Got that right.
Yeah.
Well, not exactly. I have an Ethernet cord that's longer than that.
Talking about game-wise.
Yeah, game-wise, I suppose it'd be one of the longest.
So Tyler, on to the controls.
Alright, with the controls, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube, there was quite an extinguished difference between controls of the Nintendo 64 and the controls of the Super Nintendo. Super Nintendo, you basically had your standard D-pad, you had your A, B, X, Y, and you had your left and right. Nintendo 64 had a major difference because there was quite a few more buttons added on and also taken out the X, Y buttons.
Now, before you get on to this, Tyler, I just have to say one thing. When I was little, I actually missed the X, Y buttons. But now I look at it like it would look kind of funny with them.
Yeah, it kind of would.
Yeah. Okay, go on.
But anyways, the X, Y buttons would not be revived until the Nintendo GameCube.
Mm-hmm.
But only to be replaced by the 1-2 buttons for the Wii. But we're not here to talk about them. We're talking about the Nintendo 64 controllers. You still had your standardized D-pad, but with the addition of the control stick. Now, there were some games for the Nintendo 64 that you actually still had to use the D-pad, but most of them required your control stick.
And typically for the D-pad, it was usually RPGs. Or
Wrestling.
And
I think there was also one adventure game that I used to have that
mm-hmm.
I still can't remember the name of it because it's been so long. But anyways, you still had your A and your B buttons. Now, what was different was the C buttons. These C buttons were mainly used for control, for controlling your camera.
Mm-hmm. But it also had some extra features, like some games you would push Z, which, Tyler, can you show the all-famous Z?
Z buttons down right there.
Which was a third trigger, which I hate when I talk to non-gamers playing this, because I'll say, push Z, and they look at it in stupidity. Now, you push Z sometimes, and your C buttons could have some extra features, maybe typically bombs, guns, all that stuff, or like in Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask, you couldn't control the cameras at all with the C buttons. It was all just features.
And plus, of course, it still had the left and right buttons. Go figure.
Now, another thing that was taken away other than the X and the Y was the all-famous
select button.
Which,
however, it never actually came back to be, has it? Nope.
No.
I didn't figure that as much.
No.
However, Xbox still kind of uses a button similar to the select button, but they call it the back button, though.
Mm-hmm. And now looking back, I don't even remember what you really used the select button for. Other than, on Donkey Kong Country, you would push start and select to get out of a level. What games are we going to be talking about?
Well, what games do you want to talk about?
Well, we got Spider-Man. We got GoldenEye. We got some WCW versus NWO World Tour. We got the first Road Squadron. You got Yoshi's Story.
My tongue ain't that long ago.
Tyler, we got Super Mario 64. Oh, that's right, people. We will be reviewing this. We are saving the best for last. So, well, how about this? How about first off, I beat your ass at Mario Kart 64. And, we talk about, Best Video Game of the Year Award 1998. The Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time. And then we'll finish it off with, Super Mario 64. Now, obviously, we cannot go through all these games.
No way, Jose.
But, how about this? Let's give them a little taste of the best of the best.
That's right.
Alright, Tyler, you ready for an ass kicking? Okay, never mind. Alright, Tyler, what do you remember about this good old game?
The fact that I used to have fun with this and beating people up with it every single time. Ooh, dodge that bullet right there.
Yeah, and almost always hitting those bombs in versus mode. Now, what was unique about this game compared to the first? Well, first off, did you even own the first Mario Kart game, Super Mario Kart?
Yeah, I did actually.
So, personally, I think this is way better. What do you think?
I like both of them, so I really can't choose.
Well, I thought this had way better controls. You could control it better, and obviously, since the graphics were better, you could obviously see it better. It felt more real for a very cartoonish game. Anyway, Tyler, I'm kicking your ass. You had to go be a think about it, didn't you? You mother.
Goodbye.
You mother. Oh my god. I hate you, Tyler. So, Zuff, how intense is 4-player?
It's actually pretty intense, especially if you got people getting pissed off at you because you're winning.
I've only gone up to 3 players.
Oh my god, that was so close.
Yeah. Oh, you no!
Fail.
No! I saw that coming too. Oh, Tyler.
Oh, yeah.
Tyler. You won.
I win.
I mean,